Here we are again. Isaiah 7:14. Um, this is the this is the problem between the. Let me welcome you. I'm sorry. I just I get started and I assume that everybody's been here a million times. My name's Chris. Uh, I know this book, and I'll tell you that it is the great sword that has taken peace from the earth. And I just got done making one video and then decided I'd watch one short and then one short later. Here I am again to explain another verse, but I'm going to read it um, as it's in here. But it says, "Therefore, the Lord Himself will give you a sign." Okay, the virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel. He will eat curds and honey when he knows enough to reject right and choose or reject wrong and choose right. But before the boy knows enough to reject the wrong and choose right, the land of the two kings you dread will be laid waste. The Lord will bring on you and on your people and on your house of your father a time unlike any since Ephraim broke away from Judah. He will bring the king of Assyria. Okay? Um, why is it that they don't read the entire verse? Okay? Um, a sign and a virgin. Is Jesus going to bring the king of Assyria? What does that mean? Is the king of Assyria the king of some place, some dirt, some land somewhere with a flag flying over it? Or is Assyria, do we look at the name Assyria and see what it means? Okay. But when you read this in Isaiah 7:14, remember, the Lord is inside you. The Lord, that son has a mother. The mother can also be like as a sister. The Lord gives you the sign because the Lord within you is the one who's going to repent and create that child that we're looking for here, right? The reason why it says that the virgin will conceive is because does Lady Wisdom really have any children? Every child she has is from a virgin. You know what I mean? They don't relate to each other like that. You know, Tuesday doesn't have a sister called Wednesday, although maybe she does. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, the Lord Himself will give you a sign. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, which is saying what? Goodness, right? You did something that's worthy of keeping, and then it's God with us. You then become son of God instead of son of man. Remember, the Lord is the son of man. You then become son of God. So as son of God, okay, God with us, He's in you already. Emmanuel. He will eat curds and honey when he knows enough to reject wrong and choose the right. I don't know why people think that that's going to happen when he's a child. It's just making a statement here. You'll eat curds and honey when you know enough to reject wrong and choose right. But this one is actually saying, but before the boy knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right, the land of the two kings you dread will be laid waste. Now, the two kings that you dread, they're like running your show spiritually. That they would represent your the two witnesses. They have a purpose, and you know what good and evil are for, or they're kind of dead. And when the land is laid waste, that's just referring to the person themselves. The Lord will bring, and so then it just says, the Lord will bring on you and on your people and on the house of who? Your father. Which father? Depends on which one as to what you're going to get. Two-sided prophecy always. And then you're going to see it start to bring it in here, because he says, on your house, a time unlike any since Ephraim broke away from Judah. Now remember, Judah has the staff, two lions ruling from left and right. What is Ephraim? Ephraim would be representative of like it's double blessing, a double ash heap. Okay, that's what Ephraim means. And it's the whole reason why Jacob did the hand switcheroo thingy with Ephraim, because he's trying to undo what happened when he stole his brother's blessing and all that. It's yeah. You get no book. I couldn't begin to explain it because without interactive questioning, because what happens is exactly what we got right here. Write another book, you get another disaster waiting for people to read it the wrong way, think they understand it, and then set into like destroying their own brothers. Wow. So there you go. I came back and I actually got her done like in what is that? Not even barely 7 minutes. But that's what I saw in Isaiah 7:14. A clock just struck. Yeah, in that day, the Lord will whistle for flies from the distant streams of Egypt. Okay. Now, the flies, problems, troubles, right? Flies and locusts, the purpose of those is to be an annoyance, to prompt you into kind of doing what's right. You know what I mean? It's really what it is. And those things, flies and locusts, we actually bring them upon ourselves. We open up the pit by maybe not picking and choosing our battles. Cause us to stumble. In that day, the Lord will whistle for flies from the distant streams of Egypt. Egypt is a place of oppression, slavery, right? So the streams of it is like to say the people that are living against God's law. So they're being, you're living against the law. So you're in slavery. You're creating an Egypt for yourself because you're enslaving yourself with sin. So when it talks about how does it say it? From the distant streams of Egypt, you're not actually in Egypt, but you're going to suffer those kinds of things, right? And again, it's all law. This is all about following God's law, whole book. And for bees from the land of Assyria. Okay, now what are the land of Assyria? The Assyrians, they were like judgment all by themselves. They were harsh. You have to look at what the name means. But bees are what? They're kind of like flies, except they leave some marks, right? In that day, the Lord will whistle for flies from the distant streams of Egypt and for bees from the land of Assyria. They will all come and settle in the steep ravines and in the crevices in the rocks. Now remember, when the goats, sheeps, and whatever, goats are looking, they're running the hills, they're hiding in the rocks, looking for almost like legal loopholes to hide from God. Sheep are just in the valley, they're just doing exactly what they're supposed to. They got the shepherd thing. Goats are up there just kind of having at it, right? So they will come and settle in the steep ravines and in the, this is talking about goats, and on all the thorn bushes, okay? Thorns and thistles, and at all the water holes. Okay, water holes is just a given. They're fair game. Water is water. Bitter water to one person might be sweet water to another. So as to say that something bad happening to somebody might actually turn out to be a blessing, right? And that day the Lord will use a razor hired from beyond the river. Okay. Which river? The king of Assyria, to shave your head and the hair of your legs, and to take off your beards also. Isn't that interesting? That's talking like sheep and goats. To shave your head, but the head could be referring to your leader. So to like mock your leader, and the hair of your legs, those are your pillars. Remember that statue, those legs, left leg, right leg, iron legs, stomping in the clay, running it to dust, stomping what is left. That's what we're watching the statue do. We're watching, at least I am, even on YouTube, watching, I don't know, Christianity, all the components of our faith being destroyed. It is the strengthen what is left of you thing going on here. And that day, a man will keep alive a young cow and 2 goats. So there you go. I said sheep and goats, and what are the 2 goats? You're sacrificing for both good and evil. It's a sign of those 2 witnesses being gone. In other words, there's no adherence or reconciliation between the law and the things you do, and how it's recompensed. You're keeping a cow. I got what I need. That's kind of funny. It's almost like have it meet the milk and drink it too, or how do they say that? And because of the abundance of the milk they give, there you go. And because of the abundance of the milk they give, he will have curds to eat. Okay. And that's actually a good sign. The abundance of the milk is referring to lessons from the law. Okay. All who remain in the land will eat curds and honey. And remain in what land? Yeah, you could be talking about the Garden of Eden. In that day, in every place where there were 1,000 vines worth 1,000 silver shekels, 1,000 vines worth 1,000 silver shekels. Silver is slave wages. So if that goes away, not even the works are going to save you. The gold has to save you, but the slave wages and the works, if they don't, you're done. That's it. So in that day, in every place where there were 1,000 vines worth 1,000 silver, it looks like sand silver, 1,000 silver shekels, there will only be briars and thorns. You don't follow the law, you don't get no blessing. Men will go there with bow and arrow, for the land will be covered with briars and thorns. Why would they go with a bow and arrow? Because it's as for all the hills once cultivated by the hoe, you will no longer go there for fear of briars and thorns. This is saying like this is fear of the Lord. You're running from them. They will become a place for cattle, where cattle are turned loose and where sheep run. Fear of the Lord. You can't follow the Lord. Oh my God, I see this book. I read it like it's crazy. Oh, we're in big trouble, big trouble. there we go. Start of the video for was Isaiah 7:14 to 7:17 with what I feel is a proper interpretation. And if not, may our God protect you from such evil by removing the breath from me and from this place, that I might not make a mistake to harm you. And otherwise, to have enough grace to allow me to continue to speak and hopefully save some of you from the fire. Shalom, shalom.